entrepreneur in IT, also in IT section in Indonesia. And the floor is yours. Give it all up.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Adiska. I will introduce myself after this slide. So previously we already get a very comprehensive story regarding entrepreneurship in Netherlands. I would like also to add some stories regarding my previous experience, because I see that many of you, most likely still in the university, maybe still studying master or PhD or even bachelor. So I got some questions frequently from my peers and from my colleagues. Like, they know that I had initiated a business previously, and they was like kind of surprised, like, how can you start a business after you just graduated and you have no experience at all? How can you do that? Is it possible? Can you get through that? So I would say that it is very possible, and I would like to share my experience, and I hope that it can enhance your your vision regarding youth entrepreneurship, how you can start it, especially if you are going back in Indonesia. I would also like to share some of my views and my first experience, how to initiate business in Indonesia, if you have no experience at all. Next. So this is a short introduction of myself. My name is Adiska Fardani. Previously, I was a bachelor in Information System of Technology at Belajar Institute of Technology. I initiated a business called Knowledge Indonesia. I was the chief operating officer, and we were providing social media analytics solutions. And we have an office in one of the most technological city in Indonesia, which is Belajar. Anybody comes from Belajar? No. Yeah. So what we provide actually, so as you seen in the left screen, so we provide like kind of a service to monitor a brand's presence in social media. So for example, we have BNI, for example here, like for example they are our client. So we are going to detect all the keywords related to BNI services and products, and then we will grab all the opinions regarding BNI in Twitter, Facebook, forum, Kaskus, blogs, any other else. Because as you know, like Indonesia is one of the biggest social media population in the world. So we will deliver kind of summary, and we have an algorithm to kind of summarize all the opinions, and then we will distinguish it between like which one is the positive comments regarding BNI, which one is the negative comment, and that comments will be used by the executive to kind of decide what's gonna be the next marketing strategy to grab this kind of all the complainers, all the people who give compliments, so they can enhance their marketing plan more efficiently. I hope you can get a clear understanding about what we were doing. And currently, I am taking a leave, a kind of long leave from my company, and I'm studying management of technology at Delft University of Technology. And I am also bounded with some organization currently, PPI Belanda as well, part of PIA teams. And then I also part of Global Shapers Community. It's a global community where young entrepreneurs and then young global leaders, they are connected to each other within this community. And then the next is Informatics Entrepreneurs Association, who are the alumni of informatics of ITB, who are becoming entrepreneur, and also Indonesian Youth Diplomacy, just to escalate all the youth, all the youth opinion to a higher level of bureaucracy in Indonesia. So this is our agenda today. It's not going to be very long. I will make it short, I promise. So the first one is going to be about the youth entrepreneurship in Indonesia. What's the condition right now? The hopes. What are the benefits of this kind of entrepreneurship? What should I care? And then the challenge. What are the entry barrier, or what kind of challenge that we have to take into account if we want to initiate a business? And also all the initiative or all the plans that maybe it would help to foster entrepreneurship better than the current one. So next, where we'll start with. We'll start with what is youth entrepreneurship. So previously, maybe we have known that. Before I begin, if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask. I would like to have a lively discussion. So just speak up if you have any questions. Previously, we know that young people just after they graduated from the college, they may choose a traditional career path, even it like is to work for a big company or working for family business or working for a state-owned company. But now we have another alternative, which sounds more sexy or appealing, which is called entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur. And they are looking for a challenge because they see that starting their own firm would be kind of cool, and then it's kind of challenging. I think I have the capability to do that. And they are also feeling optimistic towards their success in the future. This is also maybe because it is also supported by the increasing economic condition in Indonesia itself. So that maybe like previous years ago, maybe our parents like they have no choice. Like I'm just gonna proceed to state-owned company, working in a governmental organization because like I need income to live. But like right now, maybe our parents is sufficient enough. They have a kind of stable income and so on, and so we can pursue our dream to become more idealistic because we already fulfill our basic needs. So that maybe we will become optimistic to pursue our dream become entrepreneur. And what are the main drivers of this phenomenon? Like there are plenty of them, but this I sorry. So currently we have from 2013 we have 1.56% of entrepreneurs in Indonesia, and we have an increase as much as 0.09 in 2014, and then we still have to catch up because we need to reach at the minimum 2% of entrepreneurs in Indonesia of the total population. So it's kind of a big number to achieve, but what is the good news is like more than half of these entrepreneurs are coming from the young entrepreneurs. So it's kind of I hope it can give you kind of illustration that it is possible if you're still young, you don't have any experience, you can still be an entrepreneur, and the data says that we are half of all the entrepreneurs population in Indonesia. So what are the main drivers of this young entrepreneurship phenomenon? The first one is because maybe you have an applicable skill. For example, from my current university in ITB, I had a tracer study. So the university tried to trace all the distribution of the alumni, where are they going, and like most of them who initiate business comes from the major which are informatics or business management or design or art, design, graphics, and so on. So it's kind of applicable skills that you can just convert into money right away. So in that case, like this kind of alumni, maybe for them it's kind of easier to start a business. And also this business require low capital requirements. Like to make a program like myself, like all we need we don't really need a very high capital investment in terms of asset, but we need to rely on our expertise in our intelligence to build the product, as well as maybe for art and so on. And the second one, we may also refer to the success story in the Western part of the world, like particularly for the case of technology startup, we may refer to the success story of like Twitter, Facebook, which were emerging since like 2007 or before, because we see that it's applicable there. Like for my case, the social media analytics software that we provide previously has been emerged in the United States. So we see that it is successful in USA, so why don't we make it here? Because because the market is not grabbed yet by the foreign products at that time. And the third one is there are many events to foster entrepreneurship right now. Maybe I don't know much about what's happening in the Netherlands, but for sure in Indonesia, we attended a lot of events over there, like competition, exhibition, festivals, and so on. And what are the benefits of joining that kind of events? The first one is we can do a concept testing of our idea to see even if the customer or public like it. The second one is to build a network, so maybe you can meet your prospect customer, you can meet your future partner, or even investor. Like somebody asked about investor before, like it is a very great place to attract the investor if you can like win a pitching competition. And then last but not least, also the price is also appealing. Sometimes you get like funding as much as like $1 million, or maybe like just get kind of fancy tablet or something. It's not a problem as long as you get the exposure. So you have also to take into account, of course, the enormous amount of our population. which is also the main attraction, I think, for people who wants to grab this 250 million to domestic market. Next. That's about the current condition. And then what should we expect from this youth entrepreneurship movement? The first one, indeed, is decrease in employment level. Currently, we have 7.24 million people unemployed in Indonesia from all age. And we can imagine if we want to eradicate or reducing this number, we need like 724,000 new entrepreneurs who has like for each of them 10 employees. And if we can find like those 700,000 entrepreneurs, we can have an increase in our percentage of total entrepreneur, which is as much as 0.3%, which will, if we add it with the previous 1.6, it would become almost 2%. So this is kind of effort that we should pursue. It's very difficult, but we'll see what the government will do with this. And of course, with the entrepreneurship, we expect to have an increase in GDP as well, because if people rely on local products and they will shift from imported products. And last but not least, which is very interesting for me, is that entrepreneurship, youth entrepreneurship, is not only about profit, it's not only about commercial activity. You can also do social orientation youth entrepreneurship. So this is the example. In 2013, I had an opportunity to visit called like Village University in Manila. This is called Enchanted Farm. So the founder itself is still very young, 25, like me. And she founded this idea of making incubator for farmers, for a very, very old and all the farmers who live in the rural area, to educate them about how to grow a very good vegetation, for example, how to do a good irrigation and so on. Of course, she didn't do this alone. She also like engaged some companies as a partner, also some experts to help the farmers. And after that, she also recognized that the problem is that this farmer, they cannot proceed their product to the market because like they don't know how to reach a market and how to make the good, very good packaging, as has been said by Mas Fajar before. Like you have to have a very good packaging. So in this village university, she made kind of vacancy to some European students, like in UK, in Germany, in Netherlands, to have an internship in her village university to design all the packaging for the farmers. So it's kind of, so for the students, they feel like, oh, I'm helping something. I help farmers, and for them, they got a very good packaging. Like, unfortunately, I cannot bring the page, but it was very beautiful. And they also give education for the children of the farmers. They build library for them, and they also make some kind of big aula for them to practice dancing and so on. So it's kind of, you gain a kind of profit sharing from this business, but as well as helping them to nurture their business. And it's not only about village university, you can also do the same with microfinance. I have a friend who have a microfinance business in Bogor. He helps the mothers who has like sewing capability and so on, to give a loan for them. Crowdfunding as well, natural products. I do also have a friend who like she make like body care product like Body Shop, but she made it from rose. So she is also like nurturing the business of rose farmers. So you can also think about this social enterprise. So of course, with all the great opportunity comes with great challenges as well. Like one of the most frequent problem is that sometimes the suppliers do not meet the demands, because as Mas Fajar mentioned before, like sometimes we build the product we think is brilliant, but sometimes it doesn't match with the market needs. So we need to think carefully whether our invention kind of match with the market needs or not. We need to solve the real problem. The second one is about the non-sustainable business model. It could also be possible that you have a very good product, but you don't have a sustainable business model. So like you cannot because like in startup, I have to admit, like from my experience, cash flow is very important. You may have a very big client, but like they will pay you. You have an account receivable, so they will pay you like in the next year. But like in the meantime, you don't have any income, so you cannot pay your employee. So in order to handle that, you should also aim for a long tail business. Long tail business is a business that you don't need to you don't need to devote all your effort in just one time. Like when I'm doing project, like I serve my client, it's a head business, it's not a long tail. But long tail is like search engine in Google, for example. So there are not many people involved in that, but like the machine can generate profit itself. This profit may be very small, but like it just keep increasing, and then it can help you once you don't have any cash flow. The third one is about lack of experience. Yeah, this is maybe the main challenge because you don't have the management skill, the marketing, HR, and legal. And also it could be amplified if you already have a very strong incumbent. Like in my case, I already have some kind of incumbent who are running social media analytics service as well. So when we don't need kind of a good marketing strategy, it's kind of, they are one step ahead of us. It's kind of difficult. But you can enhance the skills for sure. And then also threat of new entrants due to low barrier, because like as I said before, if you can do programming, you can do a product. If you can build a product, maybe you can sell it. But like everybody can do that. I don't need to have a very huge capital. I can do that as well. So there will be many competitors coming because of this low barrier of entry. The fifth one is about the lack of knowledge of domain expert. For example, if you are going to make a software for financial institution, you have to partner with a financial expert as well. And sometimes, like developer just like, okay, I will just build it anyway without experts. Well, you need one. The sixth one is about scarcity of long-term investment providers, especially if you build a very high technology which requires a very long research. Maybe if you ask for a bank, or if you ask to the venture capital, the orientation is more like profit, so they will like, okay, your innovation will take like 14 years to give me return on investment, okay, I will reconsider about it. But like, in this case, maybe we can refer to the case in Israel. Like in Israel, the defense organization there, they are partnered with some startup who are doing like some kind of cool stuff with the research as well, and they can provide funding for them as well. And last but not least, it's about low attraction to work for small firm and unstable problem. So this is a very interesting problem because like you're building a startup, of course you need employee, but like who wants to work for startup? Because like I can work for a consultant company and they will give me a higher pay. Why do I have to work for you? And also like I don't feel it's cool to work for your company. So it's kind of thing that you should really take into account. Maybe the solution, you can build a very cool culture in the company. You must have a very good leader, for example, so that people will kind of looking at this role model and feel like this is the thing that I cannot find in other company. Of course, there are many challenges in addition to this, but yeah, this is the thing that maybe I emphasize most. Right? Now, if you are going to build a technology, like I heard questions about building a technology, can it be dominant or something? Yes, it can, but like the effort to make, if you are building the next iPhone, for example, or the next tablet, is it going to be the most popular one in the world? Like, yes, it could, possibly, but like you need a lot of effort to make it very dominant. I summarized this table from my lecturers. So, like, in order to make a technology become dominant, you have to take into account like the timing of entry as well. How are you going to finance? How do you provide the compatibility with the existing technology? How do you design the price for performance ratio? So there are many things behind those planning process. But it's possible, of course. Then how to overcome the challenge. These are 10 initiatives that I thought about, but of course there are many of them to come. The first one is about in order to like improving the number of entrepreneurs. Of course, the government can provide formal and informal education to trigger entrepreneurial rate. It would also possible to, like I mentioned before, there are already a lot of entrepreneurial events, competition, workshop, what else, exhibition and so on. But like sometimes they are just not relevant for us. I will describe it later in the next one, and then marketplace or SME showcase, like there are also, if you are playing Instagram, you can see like there are a lot of young people who are initiating like food business or cool yogurt business or cool cake business with delivery service and so on. Which is very good. But like in order to get a wider coverage of their market, maybe a marketplace would be nice to display also their products. Quality standardization by authorized body. That's the thing that is very important for me, because as a very small business, nobody will trust you. Like you just graduated and then you build a company and then you offer solution to a company and then they will say, who are you? Like you don't have any experience in that kind of thing. So in addition to your effort to gain your portfolio, I think it's also important if the government can interfere in this situation by make kind of standardization about the skills, so that when we are coming to a company and offering our product, they will kind of have a information about the capability of this company. And then potential mapping, maybe the government can do this as well, how to connect the supply or the talent that we have with the needs, who are needs on this technology. Co-creation with the prospective company, so from the beginning, you build the product with your prospective customer. Long-term funding for research startup, as I mentioned before. Importance of patents is also important. And then business incubator as university initiative, like right now in TU Delft, we have IAS Delft, it's a business incubator. Like they provide legal, marketing, funding, office space support for newly firm. So I think it would be great if it could be implemented. Maybe some universities already implemented this, but maybe some others haven't. Last but not least, explore the other global market, avoid local market. Like Mas Fajar has done before, like he tried to look for other market, but not Indonesia, which is very good as well, because it is maybe we're just kind of focused on the local market. Next. So yeah, I will have a little bit story about the irrelevance of the events. So in 2012, the Ministry of Creative Economy and Republic Indonesia sent me and the other two guys from other startup to South Korea to attend the World IT Show. It's a very high exhibition for IT company. But like we provided many of the marketing kit, but unfortunately, after we arrived there, we saw that the exhibition is more appropriate for B2C company rather than B2B company. So like you should also take into consideration when you are attending an event, is it really relevant with my market segment, target market or not? Like also if you are attending competition, for example, maybe you can just join 10 competition in a month. But then if you just keep joining competition, when are you going to sell your product? When are you going to innovate on your product? Because your focus is just like winning competition, winning and winning and winning. So you need to balance between these two. It's very important. Next one. So we are coming to the almost at the end of the slide. So I will try to summarize like all of my state before once I initiate the business up until now. Like first you have the passion. You must have this passion or the intention just to will to start your business. And then it must be also supported by excellent skills. Like, okay, I like in technology, I have programming skills. Then the next one is find the right partner. This is very important to team up. And maybe the question would be like, who are the most appropriate people that we can take as our partner? Like there are, in my perspective, there are 4 main roles that we should take into consideration. The first one is the visionary, maybe as the CEO, who will kind of make a blueprint of the company. Second one is the expert, whether it is expert on design, expert on technology, expert on finance, and so on. So you need this kind of people who will really do the product. The third one is the social butterfly, which is the person who will do, because like Mas Fiji said before, like it doesn't matter if you have a very good product if you social butterfly is really required in order to like promote your product and then like get in touch with important stakeholders, how to make a very good and efficient promotion and so on. And last but not least, once you are growing, maybe at the beginning you don't really need to care about like tax or like balance sheet and so on. Me too. But like after like 2 years, 3 years, you will need this administration guy who will take care of all of this unimportant tasks, but really important. Like I don't like to do this, but like we need one who is very organized. And then after you have a very good team, you can produce a great product. But then the next challenge would be how to commercialize my product. Where is the right market of it? And then after you find it once, you will growing very fast from the beginning. Like in my experience, for the first 2 up to 3 years in the company, we can multiply our revenue as much as 4 times from the beginning. So you will experience a very fast-paced increasing in your revenue. Some of them also experience even 2 rounds of investment. So it's not only seed funding, but also like Series A of investment in other startups as well. So like the first 2 or 3 years is gonna be like, well, you are very growing. But then the real challenge is after the 3 years, because you need to deal with scalability issue. Like for example, now you have like 10 employees, but they just keep turnover. They just get out of your company. Your turnover rate is very high. Why? Because you don't have a very sufficient system to keep them engaged to your company, to keep them loyal. Like after they just come into your company as a programmer, and then they ask, "What if can I get promoted? Can I have a higher salary?" And then you just get like, "Okay, I don't have any like leveling system. How can I promote him?" And then you just, "Okay, I will find another job." That kind of thing. So I experience a very high level of turnover as well. Because like HR, and then also like absence system, attendance system, because like maybe they are not working 9 to 5. That's the point that they want to work for startup, because they want that kind of flexibility. But and yet at the other side, you have also like measure their productivity, so that you will kind of deal with this kind of scalability and structuring issue as well, in my perspective. And I think it is, so to start, like, this is to sum up my experience. If you want to start, like the first, it's typically more or less the same with what Mas Fabian has told us. The first one is identify your strength. What do you want to do? What are you passionate about? Second one is to build your network, finding the right partner, maybe investors, maybe clients, team members. Third one is start with your own style. I heard a question as well about like, which is better, just doing market research first and then get into the business, or vice versa. Like I got a literature from my lecturer as well. They call it causation and effectuation. Causation means like you make a very thorough market research first. You don't want to take risks. You just want to have a very comprehensive understanding about the market first, and just right after that you jump into the business. And as the opposite side, you have like the effectuation style, which like, okay, I will just like, have a very brief understanding about the market, and then I will jump right away, and I will rely on trial and error. Both of them from the paper that I read is just good. Like there are no better or not. It just depends on the situation. Like it depends on the level of uncertainty at the time. Maybe if the level of uncertainty is very high and you can even predict the future, you can just jump into the business. But like if it's kind of predictable, maybe you can predict it from the beginning. And fundamental of our community is very important, because like once you don't have experience like me previously, mentor is very useful. And then community is very important, because you will feel a lot of joys, but you will feel a lot of sadness as well, failure, and then the community will kind of receive and hear all your opinion and success story. Last but not least, just enjoy the journey. So yeah, this like kind of example. So how if I don't have any applicable strength, like I cannot do programming, but I do really want to start a business. The good news is you can do just whatever you want, like Mas Fadil